All across the state right now, people are seeing increases in their property tax bills and are sort of freaking out about it. Property taxes are paid according to the value of the property you own, like a home or apartment. They're usually assessed per $100 of value, so the more your property is worth, the more you pay on it in tax. Property tax rates are set by local governments, not the state government. Under North Carolina state law, every county is required to reassess property market values at least every 8 years. So lots of counties around the state are reassessing property values, and that's why property taxes are increasing. What's going on here is that home values have risen pretty much everywhere since the pandemic. If your house in Charlotte was worth $200,000 in 2018, it's probably worth closer to $400,000 today. And this isn't just a big city thing either. Haywood County, Harnett County, Onslow County, Surrey County, home values are going up pretty much everywhere. Over in Johnston County, the average increase in home value has been 70% just since 2019. That's an average annual increase of 11.5%, which is big. So if you're a homeowner, that's great. That means this asset that you own has increased in value. Everyone wants their property value to go up. But since the value has gone up, that means the tax owed on that value has also gone up, even if the tax rate itself hasn't changed. In Wake County, they actually cut their property tax rates, but because the values there have skyrocketed so much, about half of residents there are still paying more in property tax overall. Which, when you think about it, is not the worst problem to have. Now, the whole reason why values are going up in the first place is because more people want to live in these places in our state as a whole, which means you have to build the infrastructure to support them. Roads and wastewater and schools and police and fire and all this stuff costs a lot of money, and local governments are relying more and more on property taxes because the state government is helping out less. Our state legislature in Raleigh has cut back on funding for things like schools and infrastructure, but people still demand those services, so all that does is pass the buck down to local governments to figure out how to pay for it. This is why we're seeing more and more local governments pass bond measures to raise that revenue. The city of Charlotte just passed a big bond for transportation investments. Wake County passed one for libraries. Union County passed one for schools. If the state government doesn't want to pay for this stuff, then some local governments have that option. But not every community has that option. Bonds work for more populated areas with big tax bases that can pay those bonds back. But for rural counties and smaller towns that don't have big tax bases, it can be really hard to borrow money, and so cutting back really penalizes them. Everyone wants smart investments to support growth, but the hard part is figuring out how to pay for them.